Hey, what's up? It's Holden here. We got Swinging for the Fences, Mangone, Title, and a 6-game slate. So an itty-bitty slate. Maybe if we got some time, we could talk some football today. Make sure you hit the like button. One of you will get some RPS swag. Mangone, what's going on, dude? Nice haircut, first of all. Will you be wearing a hat over this haircut soon, or do you just go freestyle, raw dog?
I think for now, I mean, it just got the haircut today, so I gotta at least show it off, right? The new
It's
cut.
sexy.
But I don't know. I'm not a big. It's a pain to be doing every single day. I'm not just gonna like dress up my hair for the day. But if I'm going out, I'll do it. So
Some pomade in there? Is that what you use? Pomade?
I use whatever the hairdresser put in for me there. I typically have the same thing basically. I don't know what it even is, but
I saw a picture of Title, and he had like short hair and everything. You know, when did this hippie Title come out, man?
Well, this is my actually second go around with the longer hair. I used to play hockey, so the flow was in and I like it. And then I cut it and I was with school and stuff. And then it was quarantine and COVID. And I was like, you know what? Hairdressers and stuff were already closed. So I was like, I'll rock it longer and longer. And I thought I was gonna cut it, but hey, I mean, there's no reason to. I'm enjoying it right now while I'm young and still looking. It's not gray yet, so might as well ride it out.
Yeah, again, it's only a 6-game slate, so I'll get to it in a minute, but I'm really fascinated by all this, to be honest with you. Saturday, I'm getting a cut. So, Mangone, is your hairstylist a female or a male?
it's a female. It's my friend's. It's actually my friend's girlfriend. Oddly enough, I used to go to this place for a while, and I think my ex from high school got me into going to the place, and it's a salon. It's nice. They treat you well. So I just keep going to them. They do a good job. And my friend's girlfriend, she does it for me. And I don't know, I'm good friends with her. So why not give her, I want to give her the money, right? I want to give her the tip. I don't want to give some, schmuck. So, and she knows how to do it. I just walk in, don't have to say a word, Holden. Don't have to explain my hair, walk in and it's just done.
I don't have the chat up, but I'm sure they're thrilled about this conversation. There's no easier thing if you're single to just have a female hairdresser. Make sure she's single and just tear it up. They're very easy. Just generally, in general, okay? It's just a tip for you, Mangone.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing that's good about it too is she'll just say to me if it looks good or not. You know, I mean, she's having a woman, do it for me is even better. Yeah. I think I'd rather her cut it than a guy. I don't know. I guess guys like barbers, but you want to make sure your hair looks the best. You want to impress the ladies, and that's how you got to do it.
Yeah, I was married for 10 years. I went to a barber. I'm single. I'm going back to the women. Okay, let's do this. Pitching, ladies and gentlemen. Draftkings, Mangone, the Beebs at the top, going at Detroit. What a nice matchup. Philly at the Mets. We got Nola going against the Mets. And then Framber's 9-2. So Nola's 10-1. Bieber's 10-9. He is, 11-9 on FanDuel? It's just astronomical. Nola's 10-9 on FanDuel, and then Framber's a little cheaper on FanDuel at 9-1. So which direction are you going top shelf on both sites?
Yeah, so let's start with FanDuel first. So I think on FanDuel, for sure, I'm pretty set on Framber Valdez. I think because that helps you get in enough Dodgers bats, and I think Dodgers bats are a priority today. Holden, you're laughing. There's something going on.
No, yeah. So Jay Reed was saying his girlfriend is a stripper. His girlfriend was a stripper. His friend's girlfriend was a stripper, and he ran into some problems. I just want to stick to DFS, please. I'm all over the place today. Mangone, if you see me doing something, just keep talking, man. I'm really having a hard time focusing, so go for it.
That's okay. No worries. So yeah, let's go back and talk about this a bit. So I want to get Dodgers bats in, right? And on FanDuel, Framber Valdez, that kind of gets me there. So I like him. I like him on DK too. I mean, the price is right. The only issue I have with it is he's obviously not the easiest to get in with Bieber and then get the Dodgers bats. I mean, you can get some of them. You can get maybe enough of them, but I keep going back and forth on how I'm really approaching it on DK. FanDuel, I feel pretty good about definitely going Valdez. On DK, I see myself going either one of Valdez and Bieber. I could see myself going both, but there's a chance I look obviously to go, only one of those two guys, go a little bit of a cheaper pitcher maybe, and then try and get a couple more bats. It just kind of depends how my lineup shapes up. But yeah, I think those two are the clear-cut guys. I'm not really super high on Nola today. Not my favorite spot for him. I get it. He's in play. He's a solid option, but not someone I'm too excited about.
Okay, Title, let's hear it, man. Top shelf, both sites.
Yeah. So, can you hear me all right? I'm going through a couple of lag spikes. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I got you.
All right. So let me know just in case if I cut out. I don't know what's going on.
Do this.
But I like Bieber up top. He's my number one.
Let's go.
Yeah, we hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
We hear you now, Title.
I'm hearing like off and I'm hearing you guys off and on right now. I don't even have
Try
any
coming back,
tabs
Title.
open.
Try
but
coming
one.
back. Come back.
Jump
Come
off
back.
and then jump back in.
Yeah.
And while that happens,
All right.
I can talk
All
about
right.
pitching a little bit
Please
more.
do. Please keep talking about pitching here.
All right. So, let me pull the pitching back up because I just took it down. Yeah, I know, right? This show is not starting off to a strong start, but we'll grind through it, right? We'll find a way to get through it. So yeah, I said at the top, I'm definitely a fan of the Biebs. He's definitely going to be a guy you want to look at. The Tigers' offense, he should absolutely smash him, and it's Valdez, right? Those are the two. The third guy who I was talking about is a cheaper option. He's in the conversation today as well. It's Mr. Seth Lugo. I don't hate the idea of going to him today here against the Phillies. And it's not because I like Seth Lugo, right? I'm not saying, hey, 7.1K Seth Lugo, he's an ace, lock and load, you got to have him. I'm saying I like Seth Lugo because that difference between either Valdez of like 2.1K or the difference between Lugo to Bieber, that might be enough to get me like so many different upgrades where I want to go and do that. I will say there are some pretty good value plays on this slate though as well. So the Valdez and Bieber route is the one that I'm trying to get to, trying to prioritize the most of. But like I said before, this slate, I want to be getting those Dodgers bats in. They are in a really, really juicy spot. I mean, Holden, you look at the pitching matchup, right? I mean, it is just the perfect dream spot here at pitcher, Holden. I mean, Kyle Freeland against the Dodgers in Coors Field. I don't care if it's the first game, Holden. Like if people say, oh, the first game goes lower scoring. I don't care. I want to be on them right away. Give me those Dodgers bats against Kyle and Freeland because it's going to be a disaster for him.
Freeland's had some decent starts at home though this year. And that's interesting. But going in and listen, Title will be back here, hopefully here.
I'm back now.
There he is. There he is. All right, Title. Get it. Do the whole pitching slate for us. Yeah. Just go through it.
Sorry about that. No one's even on the Wi-Fi. I don't even know what's going on. But yeah, it's pretty condensed for me. We'll be quick. It's Bieber up top, especially on DraftKings. He is my favorite. On FanDuel right now, I'm still deciding. I want Bieber, but there isn't a lot of value in the outfield, and I really do like the Dodgers because they are the top spot, clearly, in Coors, on the road. I mean, it's the Dodgers. So I'm fine dropping down to Valdez. Bieber at 11.9 is expensive and is a little pushing it in cash games. But on DraftKings, Bieber is the absolute lock. SP2 is a little more of a question. It's between Valdez and Tanaka for me. You get a nice discount with Tanaka on DraftKings at 7.8. He gets a pretty good matchup against Toronto, who Cole absolutely destroyed yesterday and had a nice game. I'm leaning right now with the 7.8 and the $1,400 savings right now with Tanaka. That's because if it gets me an extra Dodgers bat instead of a bat like a Cleveland bat, I would rather take that 1,400 and get that Dodgers bat because I'm very high on them. So that's what I'm thinking right now. Nola is another good tournament play that I will mention, but I just can't pay that price for him in cash and pairing him with Bieber because it'll leave Dodgers out of my lineup. So it's Bieber for sure on DraftKings, and then either Tanaka or Valdez. Then on FanDuel, it's Bieber or Valdez for me.
Who's more popular tonight, like Bieber or Valdez? Because if you're trying to save money, you get the Coors bats in, you got to go Valdez.
On what site?
So I'm talking about both of them. I mean, I think on DraftKings, it's going to be Bieber personally, but I don't know which way you guys are going on FanDuel. What do you think, Title? Are you lagging again?
Yeah, I don't know which one it'll be on FanDuel. It'll be really close.
What do you think, Mangone?
I can hear you. Just go to Mangone.
Yeah. What are we doing here?
So that's a good question. I personally think people are going to go the Valdez route. I look at a couple things just to make sure, but I don't really care if they're going to Bieber, to be honest. I just want Valdez. I'm not going to default to the ownership. I mean, you might see a little more on Bieber. It depends on lineups. I know the Dodgers lineup did just come out, right? So that could obviously spice some things up. Obviously, if we get some guy that is towards the top that we didn't expect, that would change things. So let me see. I have it on my phone, I think, somewhere. I got the notification pushed to my phone. Let's see.
Will Smith's batting 5, which is really big for value.
Yeah, that's something that'll help on FanDuel a bit. So it's Betts, Seager, Turner, who's got a decent price. Muncy's fourth, Smith is fifth, Bellinger, Taylor, Hernandez, and then Rios, which I don't think a ton of people will go to Rios. He might be still decently cheap, but yeah, I mean, Smith being up there will help them a little bit too for some of the value. I know he's not like, man, Smith isn't like the price you would clearly want on like you'd obviously rather play like a Justin Turner at that price, right? Like you'd rather play some other different type of talented player. It feels like it's a lot for Will Smith, but be able to get a 5-hitter at that price. And Smith is definitely a solid bat, especially against lefties. He's definitely still a pretty good play.
I hit the like button, amigos. We'll just get to 100 today. We'll get you some Run Pure Sports gear. So hit the like. We get to 100 by the end of the show. It's going to be a quick show, though. Might have some time to talk football, which would make me very, very happy. Okay, guys. Let's go game by game here. Are the Yankees going to be the pivot tonight then, going up against Toronto and Merriweather, given that this lineup is looking pretty good, man? I mean, Stanton's back. This is really an opener, too, for Toronto. I mean, they're not going to – you're going to be going up against their bullpen. But I'm checking out this lineup. Where's Judge again? He's not back in the lineup, so maybe they don't want to push him back-to-back. But Stanton's in there. Urshela's back, too. Those guys just came back. Luke Voigt leading the world in home runs. DJ, come on, guys. If you don't want to play the Dodgers tonight, isn't the pivot Mangone just to go to the Yankees?
Yeah, I mean, there's a good case to be made. They've been absolutely crushing the ball. So obviously, you look at that team, you're like, it's hard to argue with what they've been doing. Matchup seems right, too. So it makes a ton of sense to play these guys and get back on them. I mean, I have some interest. I think it's more of a tournament play than a cash game play, partially because some of the prices are going up too, right? Like you have to keep that in mind. Like these prices aren't just like, they're not just like at the total basement, right? They like some of these guys that were cheaper. Like, let me pull it up here. Gary Sanchez, like you have to pivot off of Will Smith for him so he can make some. Clint Frazier's price has gone up. Gio Urshela's price has gone up. Aaron Hicks, he does have a nice price tag, right? He's a guy in DK. Cash games at 3.6K. If you can afford to put an outfielder spot there, makes a ton of sense, right? As a guy hitting third, you could easily go there. DJ LeMahieu, man, he is absolutely crushing the ball. Mm-hmm. It's just the price is so expensive. So it's like I'm torn at how I want to approach it. FanDuel too, if you look at the price tags, these guys' prices are going up. Like Gary Sanchez was 2.7K yesterday. Now he's 3K. Clint Frazier, he was 3.2. Now he's 3.4. So these guys aren't just absolute discounts. Sure, you can plug in the bottom of the order like a Gleyber Torres, a Gio Urshela, a Clint Frazier, and a Gary Sanchez, and they're still decent prices, but they're still pricier than you'd expect. Aaron Hicks is probably my favorite value in the 3 spot too on FanDuel as well at 3.1K. And then on the Blue Jays side, this is how I would approach the Blue Jays. I wouldn't want to stack these Blue Jays up. Tanaka's always good to give up a home run. He just is. So if you want to take one guy to hit a home run, I wouldn't hate that. Like, let's say you build your teams out and you're building a 5-2-1 or something, and you fall on like a Travis Shaw or a Kevin Biggio, like one of those lefties. I'd go for it, right? I wouldn't mind it. Even Joe Panic, if you were just trying to save money and he helped kind of get you there and helped you get all the bats you wanted, I wouldn't hate it because Joe Panic could easily home run, right? He could easily do that. He did it yesterday. Wouldn't surprise me if it happened today. So that's how I would approach these Blue Jays. Only get a piece of one of them as like one of the lefties against Tanaka. And then Yankees, like I said, I like them. I just don't love them.
Okay. I like that analysis, though. I think that's an interesting way to go. Title, how about you, buddy? What are you doing with the Yankees? Is this a full fade because you're just going cash and you're playing Coors and you love Coors? And can you see any one-offs in this game, even on the Toronto side?
Yeah, so there's a couple one-offs that I really like on the Yankees due to pricing. Mangone hit it perfect with Hicks at 3.6K and 3.1K respectively on both sites. He's a very good play. Giancarlo Stanton at 4.3K is a complete misprice. He is someone that I'm okay getting in cash games and that I do want in cash games.
Which price was it?
Another.
Oh, I see it. 3.8. I missed that one. That's a good call on. Is that on? Or are you saying DK or FanDuel? I think I'm missing the price. What was the title?
DK.
Oh, you think
4.3K on Draftkings.
Okay, so you think 4.3K? I see. I don't know. You think 4.3K is the best way to use your salaries today? I'm asking because I feel like you're gonna lose a Dodgers bat from that. No.
Yeah, no, I do think so. Chase Anderson's really reverse splitsy. And these Dodger bats, I'm not going to be full stacking 1 through 5 because there is Muncy as a lefty. There's Bellinger as a lefty. There's certain lefties that I'm not going to want.
Okay, very good. Anything else from this game? We're just moving on. I just feel like we should talk Coors with Title. And then he can just peace out because that's what he's going to do tonight. That's all right, though. We're going to go through every game. St. Louis, Pittsburgh. Steven Brault, big left-hander on the mound, going up against the Cards tonight. Just doesn't seem like you ever play the Cards. It's fascinating. And then Hudson against Pittsburgh. I can't imagine that this is a treasure trove of DFS greatness. Title. Why don't you start with this game here, St. Louis and Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I don't have too much interest in cash games. Tyler O'Neill sticks out in the 4-hole at 2.5K on FanDuel. That's pretty much exact, or the only place I'm really going to go. 2.8K on Draftkings as well. But other than that, I'm really going to be sticking to the Yankees, who have some cheap bats, Coors, and then the Astros are really cheap that we'll get to, even though they've been awful.
Mango.
Yeah, so here's the one thing about the Cardinals today. I think they provide some pretty good value here against Brault. And again, I like to play. The reason why I don't think you play the Cardinals much, Holden, is because we probably only like to play them against lefties for the most part. And how often do they see lefties? It's obviously, there's more righties in the league than lefties. So I do think this Cardinals team, they're very right-handed heavy, and they have some good ones too. Tyler O'Neill, he's popping off as a really strong value play. I'm not saying I want to stack the Cardinals up and get 5 of them, but I think he's a great way to get exposure to this lineup. Paul DeJong, I think he has a decent price tag at the shortstop position. He's a good way to go. That's interesting. If you look at Edman, I don't mind him. He's a good contact guy. I wouldn't hate that. He's third base and outfield eligible. Priced a little up, but I think he's in playing. Listen, if you need a really cheap option, Harrison Bader. I know the 7-hole isn't a sexy price or anything, but Holden, you always look for those guys. You said, give me those one-offs that are the lefty mashers, right? This is it, man. Harrison Bader. I think he's a really strong play today. Write that one down. Pencil that one down there.
Here we go.
Put it on the Post-it note. Harrison Bader. 2.4K over there on, DraftKings. That's a cheap price and helps you get in all the bets.
All right. Basically what I do is I just write down these guys that you say are really good. And then in the morning I pick it up and I say, is this guy good or bad? And then that's how I do it. Okay.
That's the way to print. That's the way to win all the giblets.
That's how you do it. You don't play them. You just try and figure out if you guys were right or wrong. Actually, this crew has been ridiculously amazing at DFS. It really has been great. I'm on the best run I've ever been on. So let's move on to the next game. Besides for playing Harrison Bader and the Cardinals, Mets, Phillies. Again, Aaron Nola going up against the Mets. The Phillies implied totals just shy of 4. They got Seth Lugo, Mangone. I feel like this is a stay away spot for the pitching. At least you said that for Nola. So would you turn around and go Mets or just stay away from them?
I guess it's just me liking the other pitchers more. It's not me saying I want to pick on Nola. It's just more me buying the other pitchers, really. So that's kind of where I'm at. I don't love Nola, and I don't love the Mets bats really that much either. This is just more of a stay away game. I will say there is one guy that I think is certainly in play. If you look at this Phillies offense, right? Again, this is an 8 total. Not a game I want to target a ton, but I mean, Alec Baum, is that how you say his name? Baum. I'm not sure if I'm saying correctly.
No, you're doing it good.
He's cheap, man. I mean, on DraftKings at 2.8K, if he helps me get the bats, I don't hate it. Maybe even if you want to take some bottom of the order guys too to help make things work, Andrew Knapp, I don't hate it at catcher, right? He's 2.4K. If he's going to help you get in a 5-man Dodgers stack that you like, and you want to take 3 one-offs, I just talked about Bader, Andrew Knapp, Adam Hazley. Obviously, Hazley, if you play him and Bader, you're running out of outfield spots in the Dodgers. But yeah, I think that's guys you can look at that can just take as cheap one-offs to help jam in maybe all the guys you want.
All right, Title. Where are we going in this game? Anything?
Yeah, it's a stay away for me. That I get the point with Bohm. It's just 2.8K, but you're limiting first or third. It's just there's better spots that I want than to waste it on him. Knapp's the only one I really can make consideration for in the 6-hole because the catcher spot is usually a punt spot, and he's also min priced at 2K on FanDuel, which I don't like. But if you want Bieber and want Dodger bats, you're gonna have to be punting with a couple bats. So that's the only guys that can make a case for, but it's pretty much a stay away spot and a stay away game for me.
Well, I mean, this next game too, it doesn't seem like there's a lot going on here. Miguel Cabrera and the Tigers facing the Beebs on one side of things. Hey, listen, if you're looking for some value, there's 3 guys that are 2K in that lineup if you just want to completely punt and throw money away. And then with Cleveland, we're on this side here going up against Mize. These young pitchers, they have not been good for the Tigers. And Casey Mize, listen, you know what? I'll give him some credit. He was okay last start, 5 innings, 5 Ks, but he's obviously not an option in DFS, but will you be targeting him tonight, Title? Is there anything that you can go against the Tigers this evening?
So the wind's blowing out a little bit to center, which is helps bats a little bit, and we do have some affordable Indians. Carlos Santana sticks out right away at 3.6K in the 4 hole, so I like him there if you need it. Tyler Naquin, 2.6K in the 6 hole, very cheap and good value. So don't burn money on the Tigers just because they're cheap. There's other cheap hitters in better spots like the Indians that we're talking about now that I'd rather go to. But I mean, it's just not, besides those two, Naquin and Santana, I'm not paying for Jose Ramirez or Lindor up at top with Coors bats. So I'll pick my spots if it's a last piece and they fit, but not going to be jamming any of these guys into my lineups.
All right. Very good. Let's go, Mangone.
I'm not gonna lie, Holden. I wasn't paying attention. I'm jamming in contests right now for some NFL. So my apologies. I will take my first strike for the day. My bad. So what were we talking about?
At least you admit it, but it's the Indians game, and I don't think you'll have much interest in that either. I know you won't have interest in the Tigers.
Yeah, I was just making sure to get some contests in.
Are you stacking the Tigers today? Is that what you're doing right now? Getting in the Tigers?
Yeah, Holden. I'm all in. I'm pushing the chips on the Tigers with a 2.52 total.
You heard it here first.
I'm betting
stacking the Tigers.
I'm betting the Tigers over as well. I'm betting all the alternative lines too. Just smashing them. If you just joined the show at the exact time I started talking about the Tigers, I'm not doing that. I hope that just didn't happen and you just pieced out right as I said it and said this show's terrible, and then you just decide to stack it later on. Yeah. Don't do that, please. Yeah, not a ton of interest in this game overall. Again, like another guy I think you can take a shot on, right? This is one of Big T's boys. I like playing him a bit too. He's been kind to me in DFS. Is Mr. Tyler Naquin. Like against Mize, I'm not saying I want to pick on Mize, but if I want a cheap one-off with like my 5-man Dodger stack, that's the way to do it. Like Big T always says it, right? And I think he's totally right. You can play 5 Dodgers, and if I'm playing like Andrew Knapp, Harrison Bader, and like Tyler Naquin, like find me the dude playing Knapp, Naquin, and Bader together. Like they're just not there. So that's a great way to find a way to be unique, and then just play your 5 Dodgers as they can fit with your pitchers if that works. So there you go. That's kind of something I'm looking at. Just want to take a one-off here and there against Mize. Not a full Indian stack. I'm out on that.
I'm going to say the chances of our guys and ladies getting free Run Pure Sports swag is plus 250 right now. Such an underdog. It's not even funny. They're 39. You kidding me, guys? I even lowered it to 100 today because I'm in a good mood. But very disappointing. Come on, get it together. No one's playing the Rangers tonight, right? So let's talk about the Astros. For some reason, people say, I'm not playing the Astros. Every time I play them, they kill me. Well, they're going up against Jordan Lyles tonight, okay? They jacked Altuve's price all the way up to 3.6 now after a huge evening where he scored a run. That was very nice to see out of him finally. But there are some plays here, Mangone. Springer seems like he's always in play. I like this lineup a lot. There's some affordable bats in it too. You're going to have to get a little bit off the Rockies and probably the Yankees too. Can we find a bat here?
I mean, I guess I just haven't been high on these Astros really all season long. I don't know. I played them at least earlier on and during that streak. Their prices aren't bad too against Lyles. So I definitely don't hate it. I just don't want to play Altuve that much. I do think Altuve, second base isn't great. So I understand if you fall on him, and just want to stomach it. Sure. I'd rather play a Michael Brantley, a Kyle Tucker. I'd rather kind of look to those guys instead. And Alex Bregman, who's actually, good at baseball. So, the Astros are in play. I don't think they're bad, but man, it's hard for me to really ignore the Dodgers today. Listen, I don't want to be like the chalk Coors donkey guy, but this is a really good spot.
Okay. I can't imagine that TT's going this way either. I can't imagine it. There's nothing here, is there?
It's just the cheap Astros if you need it, and Altuve and Brantley are the really two that stick out at 3.6 and 3.5K.
Altuve sucks. I can't believe I'm saying that. One of the best starts to a career, And he is horrible right now. And I'm not going to sit here and blame it on the trash cans, okay? He wasn't having trash cans every single time he was at
I am blaming it on the trash cans. He was using those trash cans. They were to his advantage, the cord, everything, man. I'm blaming the trash cans. He sucks.
Being a smartass is what you're being.
No, I'm being dead serious.
So every time he got a hit on the road, like his amazing road numbers too, that had nothing to do. Were they banging trash cans on the road?
Listen, I'll say this, Holden, okay? So let's think of it in this perspective, Holden. If I'm using the trash cans, right, and I'm hitting the ball well, I feel way better and I feel like I'm seeing the ball, okay? If I play an RG basketball, like remember I did the RG basketball tournament with Big T? If I play any other basketball game with Big T ever again and I shoot a layup, good luck me making that because he just bashes me for missing the layup all the time, right? But if I had made that layup and I was like the game winner and the savior, I'd feel way more confident with my layup. So my confidence might be shot, right? Altuve's confidence, it's shot. It is absolutely shot, Holden.
I'm not buying that, dude.
He's dust, man. Don't mess with Altuve. Do not play him. Just stop rostering him all season long.
It has nothing to do with the trash cans. I don't know what it is. But it's not the trash cans. I'm just not sure. He's playing like a trash can, but it's not because he was stealing signs all these years. It's just there's certain guys. JD Martinez too. I mean, is JD Martinez sucking because there's no trash cans? I don't know. It doesn't seem that way. There's just certain guys that have not gotten on track in this season, and it's too late to get on track now. It's done. So that's where I am with Altuve. Title, you have an opinion on Altuve? Why he sucks?
I don't think I mean, I'm kind of with Mangone where, I mean, he just seems broken this year, but it's also such a short sample size where we'll really get to see next year what it's about. But I mean, he's not good this year. I don't like playing him. It's just a chalk cash play if you need it for his salary.
I can't stand it. Okay.
I would do your best to stay away from it if you can. Like, I mean, just why not punts? Like second base sucks. Why even take it in the mid tier? Just go cheaper and then get all the bats. I don't know. I'm a big believer in that, man. It matters. Like he's obviously in a slump. Like sure, like maybe Altuve's better than this, right? But we played DFS, right? What happens today is what matters. I don't care what happens tomorrow. I don't care what happened yesterday. I care what happens today. And today Altuve has been a disaster. I'm out on it. And if he hits a home run today, you nap me and tell me I'm wrong, but I don't want to mess with it.
I'm just buying into Jordan Lyles sucking. That's not Altuve. Jordan Lyles is garbage.
Just want to shout out to Joey Work from our bet side. He's in the chat today. He's hanging out. He's trying to get people to hit the like button. You get to 100, somebody's getting some free swag. Well, you know what? This is a Coors night. Let's hand it over to Title real quick. Title, take it away, buddy. What do you got? Give me your lowdown.
I like the Dodgers, of course. Absolutely smash spot today. I'm going to be targeting the righties. They did a good job of pricing, though. Mookie Betts all the way up to $6K. Of course, I want him if I can get him. He's the best bat on the slate. Justin Turner at $5K and Will Smith at $4.6K are my next two favorites. They're too cheap. They look expensive, but they're too cheap in Coors for the spot they're in. I usually full stack Coors, but it's hard to full stack this Dodgers lineup with pricing and with lefties that I don't want. I'm not going to be paying 5.2 for Max Muncy or 5.7 for Cody Bellinger. I can't do that with a lefty. So Travis actually seems to be on Coors in this Dodger spot a little more than I am. I'm more taking a couple of the high righty bats that I like and just going that route. So that's why I will have some Yankees and other spot and some Astros just because I think Jordan Lyles is really that bad. So I'm curious to see who else Mangone likes besides Betts, Will Smith, and Justin Turner, because those are my three favorites. And then I'm not really targeting too much after that. Chris Taylor, I guess, if you can fit him, but he feels a little expensive.
Mangone, who's your Dodgers tonight?
Yeah, I mean, those are definitely the three, right? Like Betts, Will Smith, and Turner, right? Those are definitely the ones, but like, man, like, of course I want another one, right? Like, I'd rather just get four in there. I would like to have another Dodger. It just depends construction and what fits, but those are definitely like the three favorites, right? The three I'm keying in on. Why wouldn't you want a fourth one, right? Like, Kyle Freeland sucks. Like, this is such a just perfect spot for this team. So I don't know. I just think I'd rather go that route. I want to jam them all in. I think I'd rather just go with four rather than three. And
what about the other side then? What about the other side with the Rocks?
Yeah, I mean, you could play some Rockies, right? I just don't know. I mean, obviously, like Story is interesting, and if you go Story, right, that could replace, or even an Arenado, that could replace one of your Dodgers bats, and that way you still have 4 bats in general. I mean, you can even get some more in, right? If you want to play a Tappy at the top, it's just lefty-lefty. I don't love that, so that's a way to do it, right? If you didn't want to play a Muncy instead, you could go over and play like a Story. So that's a route you can clearly take if you want to. But those are definitely the 3 for sure on the Dodgers. And I would say my favorite Rockies bat, if I had to pick, it's definitely Story. Do we have the full lineup out yet? Not yet. I don't see it.
I don't think we do. But I was gonna mention, because they do have good prices on DraftKings, especially like Garrett Hampson could easily be leading off against the lefty today at 3.3K. And I don't think Tapia leads off lefty. So if Hampson's in the lineup, especially lead off, 3.3K is way too cheap. And then Matt Kemp at 3.3K, if he's batting 5th or 6th, Rockies have good value, and you can easily go them over the Astros if you really don't like the Astros.
Hey, is Tony Wolters in play just as a punt at catcher?
Yeah, you can punt anyone. Catcher, you literally can, if they're part of your stack or anyone. Like yesterday, I had the Yankees catcher in my lineup and ended up swapping off just because Yankees were my favorite stack, and he hits 3 homers. No, the guy's not great, but if they're if they're in a good spot, I mean, Coors and a catcher for cheap, sign me up.
I'm just screwing around here while you're talking about that, and I threw a lineup. And listen, 1 through 5 for the Yankees is not exciting. You're probably going to be a lot of guys doing that tonight, but you go 1 through 5 for the Yankees and put in Baum. And put in your boy Bader there, Mangone, and go Valdez and Bieber on DraftKings. I think if you're not playing cash, that might be a way to go. Just go with these Yankees bats because they're going to be, to me, just a distant second. No?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind them for sure. It obviously depends on construction as well, right? Like if you told me I can get 2 Yankees bats and then I have to get rid of like a Muncy and like a cheaper bat, like, sure, I'm interested in that. That's a conversation to have. It just depends on overall construction and how everything shapes up. But I do want to make sure it's known, like, there are days where Coors I think is really good, and there's days where I think it's, solid, and there's days where I'm like, do I want to play it? I feel forced to play it. Sure, I'll play it. This is a day I feel pretty good about Coors. That's all.
All right, very good. Let's get your stacks. Title. Coors. Let's see here. I'm gonna predict this. It's gonna be Doyers, Yankees, and nobody else.
It's going to be Dodgers, Yankees, and I am jumping on the Astros today because I think Jordan Lyles is that bad. And so I will have Altuve. I will have Brantley. I mean, and it's not buying in on their talent. It's buying in that Jordan Lyles is not a major league pitcher.
Okay. Very good. I like that call. Any difference in opinion here, Mangone?
No, I mean, I would say Dodgers is my 1. I'd say Yankees we'll go Yankees 3. I will go Yankees 3 because we're gonna say the Cardinals for number 2, and mainly because of the value they provide, right? I'm not saying I like him as a 5-man necessarily. I'd say I like the Yankees 5-man stack more, but a little 3-man Cardinals stack is pretty good, right? You go a little Paul DeJong, Tyler O'Neill, Harrison Bader. That looks pretty good. Maybe even get rid of one of those outfielders if you think that's too many outfielders to go with. Let's say you got some money, pay for a little Paul DeJong. That's my kind of situation here. I think that a 3-man Cardinal stack is pretty good, and I like those 5-mans for the Dodgers and the Yankees.
All right, very good. One-offs, you got your Bader, Mangone. If you want to throw anybody else out, go for it.
Yeah, I gave you Knapp. I'll give you 3, man. I gave you Knapp, I gave you Bader, and I'll give you let's go Tyler Naquin. And those are 3 like wonkier one-offs. So there you go.
Oh, did Big T just text you and tell you better give a Tyler Naquin drop in here?
No, he didn't. But listen, Tyler Naquin, man, I can't remember when he joined the league, right? But whenever his first season in the league was, he definitely had one of those like random, like he's my 2% guy in cash and hit me like 2 bombs, right? And like it wasn't because I had this strong take on Tyler Naquin. I was like, hey, he's a cheap bat, a part of like this Indians offense that was in a good spot. And I just kind of had exposure to it, so he's treated me well, right? My first experience with Tyler Naquin, it was a good one. So he can't do me too wrong. It always feels like.
All right, title. Give it to me.
The more I'm looking, the Astros are moving up and up as one of my favorite stacks because of value. So I'm going to give you one-offs as value. It's Tyler O'Neill's my favorite But then it's going to feel weird to say, but Jose Altuve and Michael Brantley are value bats that are 3.6 and 3.5K. Stack them with Bregman. You can put them with Springer. Kyle Tucker I like a lot, who's also 4.4K. On this Astros team, I'm full stacking them today. And you can get Nola, you can get Bieber, you can pay up and stack the Astros, and then you can get like Garrett Hampson, who I like as a one-off if he's at the top of the order and stuff like that. This Astros team, and no people are going to be off them because they've been so bad. So yeah, I like the Astros today a lot.
Hey, we got done with this so quickly because there wasn't that much. You want to spend a couple minutes on football? Mangone, I know you got to put your line. If you want to go put your stuff in, go for it. It's very important. I'm serious. It's important.
Well, it just I just realized I said, oh man, I haven't entered stuff in a while, so let me get a little let me load it up. I specifically like the FanDuel a lot tonight. I think the showdown on FanDuel is really good, so I'm super excited for that slate. I can't wait for it. So,
real quick, one of the I think Daruv Patel wants to know about Brad Miller. Just the last baseball thing. Anything on Brad Miller?
I haven't looked at Brad Miller at all, to be honest. So I would go other places.
I mean, listen, like if you're doing the stack of the Cardinals and you want to throw them in and you really want to 5-man them, like sure, I don't hate doing it, but here's the problem. That it's not the sexiest ballpark, right? That Pittsburgh park. So I would temper my expectations. If you want to take him as a one-off and he's cheap, listen, like Brad Miller has power and pop. I get it. So listen, I played Brandon Crawford yesterday and he was like 2% owning crush for me. It's too bad Dylan Bundy sucks or else I would have been great. Man, it was I had the dream set up. I had the Giant stack went off, and then the Braves crapped the bed and Dylan Bundy. So those crappy shortstops, they can get it done at times, man. So I don't hate it. If it's going to be low owned too, those low owned guys, they make a huge difference.
I think Captain just got me, man. I've been calling him Adam Bomb because I've been watching the games and I keep thinking it's Bomb. It's Bohm, Adam Bohm. So I'm in timeout, guys. Later. It's over.
Holden messed up finally.
That's a first.
I'm back. Okay, so all right, it's enough, Captain. You don't got to keep rubbing it in. Football. So I guess a little showdown tonight. You guys playing the showdown, of course. Todd, I was going to tell you, like, gosh, it must have been like when LeGarrette Blount was with the Patriots. This is probably like 2015 or something. The most money I ever made was stacking Blunt, and I think it was James White in the backfield. I love playing two running backs sometimes.
This is your game.
And I know this is something that you're looking at tonight.
Yeah. It's I'm on Cleveland today. I think Cleveland covers 6 or up to 6.5 too. So I'm going to be building showdown with Cleveland onslaught and that's how I'm going to be building my game script. So I definitely like Chubb and Hunt in both of my lineups. What's
your game plan here, Mangone?
Yeah, I'll say this. Like the one thing that I like is I'm pretty big on like it sounds a little crazy, but the Browns onslaught like stack idea makes some sense. Not to say I like love the Browns by any means, but the one thing that's nice about it is like I like this run game, and with liking the run game, if you play a Chubb and a Hunt together, like let's say you play those two guys, right? Are you really running that back with Mixon a ton? Like I don't think so, right? And I think if you are running it back with those Cleveland guys, that means they're going to be playing the ball control game, right? They're going to have the time of possession. If they have the time of possession, do you want to roster a ton of Bengals? I think that's something when you build out your lineups to be pretty intentional about. Not saying you can't play, some of the Bengals. Not saying you can't run it back with a Burrow and like a receiver, but I think if you play a Chubb and a Hunt and then you run it back with 4 Bengals, that's probably wrong because like what's the time of possession going to be for that, Bengals team? That would worry me a ton. So that's something I'm looking at. One thing I love about FanDuel specifically is I love like just rostering like goofy captain slots because everyone's always like, yeah, like I'm going to play Baker Mayfield in the captain or Joe Burrow because they're quarterbacks. And it's like, you can get some of these other guys really like low owned at the captain slot. Like, listen, Odell Beckham, the narrative around him is not good right now. It is rough. People, he's getting pooped on. Everything's going bad for him. Yeah, literally. He's literally getting it, and nothing is going his way. Yeah, the trade rumors are bad. Like everything is a disaster with a guy like Odell Beckham. But Holden, let's look. If you looked at the Browns' schedule, and I don't have it up in front of me, But if you pulled the Browns schedule up in front of you and you said, there's going to be 3 games where Odell Beckham goes off this year, okay? He has a big game. The Bengals got to be one of them, right? Like, I just think you could get them lower on the captain slot. Last year, the Bengals were the worst defense in explosive plays, right? They were absolutely terrible. So Odell Beckham could go for a really big game today on a site like FanDuel at 11.5K. You can throw him in the captain slot. People are just not going to do it as much, right? He's going to be lower on than you expect. And I think it's a good way to go. Like it too on DraftKings. I think that's definitely a great way to go. I love Juju the first game or the last game that we watched at the captain slot. I was a big fan of him. I forget what the first game we watched was, but I was whoever I was a big fan of. He absolutely crushed. I'm blanking on who the guy is. Oh, David Johnson. David Johnson. He was great in the captain slot. I feel like that was a good route to go. I think really taking these skill position players as your captain in tournaments is a really sharp move. So look at that. I think that's a perfectly good route to go. So I like some Odell Beckham in the captain slot, like Nick Chubb too in the captain slot. Those are 2 of my favorite guys in tournaments as captains.
Can you imagine the show that it's going to be in Cleveland if they lose the Bengals tonight? Like, it's over. They are not bouncing back from that. They tailspin out of control, man. They have to win this game tonight, Title. It's over if they don't. 2 games in, they're not bouncing back from it.
They're so talented. I mean, they just underperform. This offensive, Odell, Jarvis, Baker, Chubb, Hunt, Hooper, you name it. They should be so much better. And I think it comes down to Baker Mayfield's not as good as what we thought. And I mean, if there's ever a year for him to go off, this has to be the year. And if he doesn't do it this year, his career is done. And that could be a bold statement, but he will never have a better offense surrounded by himself than this year. So I hope he does well. I hope it works out. And this is a game that I'm going to be jumping on the talent. And a big thing with Showdown, how you build it is you have a game script in your mind, and then you go with it. If you think the Cleveland kills them, then you run the Chubb and the Hunts and that. If you think the Bengals win, then you fade Nick Chubb because Cream will get more of the work. So it's all game theory for single game.
And did you see some of these injuries going on for week number 2 already? It's just brutal. Amari Cooper's limited with an ankle. We got A.J. Brown possibly missing multiple weeks with a bone bruise. Galladay's probably not going to play again. I mean, there's some disastrous, catastrophic injuries. And then DFS is going to give us a little edge, though. Like you and I were saying, come on, Corey Davis, give me a break last night. If Brown's gone, Corey Davis is right back in the conversation, right?
Yeah, that sucked. We were just on the other side of that. Now it's like, well, now Corey Davis is probably the number 1.
Mangone, what are you doing with Miles Sanders this week? Any interest there?
I mean, I want to see what happens, right? Coach speak is what matters a ton. I don't love him, right? I'm definitely looking to do either the pay up or pay down, I think, at running back for the most part. So, not really too interested in Miles Sanders, at least right now. The mid-tier guy I like a ton is Kenyon Drake. That's the guy, if you told me a mid-tier running back that I had to plant my flag on today, right now, it'd probably be him. I just think he's such a really strong option here against the Redskins and could have a massive, massive ceiling.
Oh, no Kittle, too, by the way. He's probably done. He's probably done for the week. And maybe, you
had me worried. I thought you meant done for the season. You had me worried.
No. That would – you know what? I probably would have led the baseball show off with George Kittle news if that was the case. That
would make me sad.
That's not it. But it's amazing, man. It's like NFL, boom, all of a sudden the value opens up during the week. We didn't see it as much in week 1, but now, as we were talking about, Title, like the $4,000 wide receivers, there's a million of those guys in there. If you're into Jonathan what's Mangone? What's Travis's stance on Travis? Come out for a minute. What's your stance on Jonathan Taylor, Bubby?
Well, I mean, you have to like him, right? I mean, he's such a strong play. The reason why is, like, 1, I'm not too worried about Nyheim Hines. And 2, like, the thing to love about Jonathan Taylor in this spot is if you look at this, situation he's in, Phillip Rivers loves to throw to running backs. It's just plain and simple. And he's going to get, PPR, right? He's going to get the rushing attempt. He's going to get everything. Sure. Is there a chance Nyheim Hines steals some things from him? Yes, but I think this is a really good spot for him. It's also in a dome, too. It's always good to have your guy in a dome. Jonathan Taylor's too cheap. I do think he's a really nice value. And it's not that I'm trying to say Jonathan Taylor's like the top play on the slate or something like that, but he helps you get a lot of other good players as well. It's not just that he's getting such a really strong role. It's that he helps you and allows you to get some really great plays. So love Jonathan Taylor.
Okay, cool. They're going to love the Jonathan Taylor this week. It'll be Jonathan Taylor chalk week. I can think of a lot less talented running backs to have them get their own week. All right, guys, we're out of here. We got
Boston Scott.
Boston's print factory's out, right? Like they already did it. For
Yep.
sure. It's up.
It's on the site.
Good. Big T and Hoop giving you the print factory. Mangone, take care of yourself. Wonderful seeing you today. Title, same with you. We will catch you tomorrow. We got another.
Let's make some money.
Yeah, let's go make some money. That'll wake me up.
MLB, NFL, NBA showdowns too. A lot of money to be made.
Yeah, a lot of money to be made is right. All right, guys, we'll catch you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Swinging for the fences? Is that what we're calling this? Yeah, good.
I think.
Right.
So.
See you guys.